In the name of God the Almighty, peace to you. Today I will give a reminder of five ascensions I had to different levels of heavens, and that started from July up till December 2020. First, I start with the first ascension, and it was the main ascension, and everything after it changed completely in my life. It happened in the night of July 2020. I had a very emotional night, full of tears, and I have a tiny bed here, just a single bed, you know. And maybe I was completely overwhelmed by my feelings and my memories and all the sort. And as soon as I felt, you know, I surrendered to sleep, all of a sudden I felt my bed was fully comfortable and widened, and I felt like, at a 100% state of peace. And then I opened my eyes and I found myself uh, in a very luxurious bed, uh, uh, with beige and white sheets and embroidered with golden lines, and I started seeing white animals all over the place, and there is no walls, everything is open in the air, and at the distance, not a very far distance, but a very large distance, that I can see the end, or the two sides of what I'm seeing, and it was clearly a throne. It's made of gold and dark blue, and the vision, I mean, it was very overwhelming, and I was in a full state of peace, and I felt unprecedented amount of love and care and all the sort. However, I knew that I am there at the seventh heaven, and I was looking at the throne, and I insisted in my mind that I want to see you, God, if you are out there. And after a couple of minutes or so, he appeared on the throne, and he was, you know, uh, looks and form like a human, but there's no skin, there's nothing there. It's like everything is visible through him, full of light, and uh, however, I could see his face, emotions changing by the minute, and it was a very, unique experience. Of course, uh, I was, very humbled by it, and I spent there hours, me on my bed, and the throne is at a distance from me, and I felt like the communication going through my head all the time wherever I look at the throne. And the night, I mean, after that encounter, my personality changed to a high degree. I no longer, I felt like Murad no longer exists. I became just like, uh, some kind of uh, belonging. I mean, I was like, I felt like, I'm some kind of uh, uh, vehicle, or some kind of messenger, that I no longer feel the emotions I used to feel as a Murad. I felt like everything now is peaceful, everything is fine, no problem at all anymore, no more sorrow, and all these things. And I felt completely at ease, and it just a completely, I, it's like someone cleaned me completely out of my bad memories or bad feelings or ill feelings. uh, just I don't care anymore. I mean, the night before I used to, if someone insulted me, I used to at least insult him back, or I feel a bit nervous or angry immediately. All of that gone. And after that first ascension, in one of my prayers at night, after a week or so, I was told by the Spirit, because I was thinking about the shadow world and how the soul functions and all the things. I was concentrating on my prayers to receive answers about that. But all of a sudden, the Spirit took me completely in another direction and told me about the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's the source of it. It's cosmic rays, and there's a verse about it in the Quran and all these things. And because I'm not someone who's religious, or I save the Quran by heart, so I had to. But he reminded me of the two simple verses in the that's related to the pandemic. And one after I finished my meditation, I went into my computer and I looked at the verses and I read, and it was a command from God to go warn people. And it was clear by now because it's mentioning a pandemic. It's not a verse related to Muhammad in any sort of way. It was just there for me. So I took it, and the next day I posted a video live and I spoke about that. And the 10 nights after this command, I received the notions of where are the correct texts that's coming from God inside the Quran, and I collected them. And it was now officially that I am the spokesperson, I am the word of God, or the spokesperson of God. So that was the official, announcement that God decided that I should be the warner for the humanity, that and what God requirements are, and also, however, the final requirements which I'm talking about now, they didn't come through all the way at the beginning, but later, at a later stage. That was the first ascension and what happened after. The second ascension, it happened one night, another, in the early morning, after I pray, because before dawn, after I returned to my bed and I was about to sleep, I was taken to an area like, what, it felt like night and there are beautiful trees, but I haven't seen something similar here on Earth. And then I saw uh, like stairs, um, and there is like I couldn't see how large is the house, but I could see light inside and a door. And I walked. It's not a long stairs, just a couple of stairs, and I walked there, and I was welcomed to uh, another place. And now I could see God, but in more human form. That it's different than what I saw in the seventh heaven. He's more, uh, face not changing too much, and you could feel like you are more with a human form than with a godly form. And he was taking me inside. It's like but I don't know which heavens was that, the sixth or the fifth or whatever. Then he took me into inside a room with a vast, I couldn't see the end of it, where like a table of control, and each planet where the life in it, in any galaxy, exists under his command, and each uh, planet in a in like a square with numbers in it, and uh, everything that functions and everything it's being counted and received. Uh, I tried to ask him, I want to know how you make the commands and how what I understood from him, that I will know that at a later stage. That was the second ascension. The third ascension happened also because I'm now having sometimes I could be in my bed for 12 hours because I'm usually taken, my soul, of course, not me physically, uh, for long hours. So sometimes I stay in bed for 12 hours and I don't feel it. So the third ascension, I was taken to completely beautiful place, and there again I met God in the same form I had him in the second ascension, and there we walked together, uh, and he asked me what you like to see in the new world, what you like us to add. And I was looking beautiful nature, beautiful animals, everything is perfect, everything is clean, um, only rivers, there's no more seas, and something like that. And we take some kind of a ship, but in a more like a, you know, large leaf of tree, and we sit there together and went through the river as we look around, and uh, plenty of rainbows and everything you could imagine. It was one of the most beautiful visions I've ever had. That was the third ascension, and then the last two happened. They are, I think, in the lowest heavens because they are related to future events. The first one was taken after Biden won the election. I was pulled, I felt like, elevated from my bed completely to the top, and it was complete darkness and at night, and was flown over the Atlantic. And I looked in an area like, I mean, in my head, I know it's above the United States, and it was filled of symbols of death, and it's like, an announcement that uh, God is fully angry, or the punishment of the United States has started. And I saw the faces of the last three presidents, Biden and Trump and Obama, all in black and white. No colors at all, no life there at all in that vision. That was the fourth ascension. And the fifth ascension happened when just after the before or after the 21st of December, after the Great Conjunction, and I was taken to an area like the surface of the moon, and I saw there what I thought from distance God, but he was like standing in a lower place. And as soon as I walked down towards him, he is no longer there. He was standing away, and he was turning his back and going. And all of a sudden, the one who I expected him to be God down there, it turned out to be some kind of a man, but with his face changing with flags of nations and colors of skins and all sort. And he was digging in the surface, and it's like digging his own grave. And then I was pulled back from the scene, and I was put like I could see behind a window or screen or something. It's like I'm put completely out of the scene. However, this man who was digging, he's no got already gone. But the guy who was digging when I was pulled out, he was no longer there. Uh, and then after I remember that couple of days after that vision, the Chinese announced that they came back from the moon after they took some kind of rocks, brought some kind of rocks from the moon with them. So I think maybe we could see that if they are having any suspicious activities there, that could be really digging the grave for the humanity. If they are, playing games with the moon, and we all know how much important is the moon for life on Earth and for the procedure of day and night and all the sort. So these are the five ascensions I had. Of course, the first three are the most precious to me, and because the last two looks more dramatic and looks more dark and related, because they are related to this world. So I really, I never experienced such things before, and they are clear visions, because when you are not fully asleep and you are not fully awake, that's when you're having vision. It's completely different because I also have dreams, and I explained to you some of the dreams I had. Dreams, that you are in a total state of sleep, and when they are over, you wake up. But those things, the visions, you have them, and all of a sudden you feel like you return to your body where you are. It's completely different feeling when you're having a vision from when you are dreaming. Uh, and especially when those visions happen when you are not thinking also about the topic related to them in any way. Uh, so I just can look at these three, and they are the first three, and they are like, embroidered in my head. I love them too much. Every time I am in some kind of doubt, I just remember them, and everything will be fine. So for me, God is no longer any doubt. I know for sure that He exists, and all what we are seeing is a product of our own making, because of our greed, our ignorance, our arrogance, and so we are reaping what we sow as a human race, human species, with the pandemic and every bad thing that could hit us in the future. However, this is a transition period before we go into the eternal world, the beautiful world which I have seen. And I hope to see everybody there. I really don't want anyone to miss it, but people misunderstand my messages every time, because they don't understand that they are the ones who are blocking themselves from immortality, from eternity, from getting rid of death and illness and all the sort of problems. All what they have to do is to love one another and to live as one. Just respect each and every one of us. Full respect. That means no one feels inferior. We don't discriminate. We don't intimidate one another. Uh, it's very simple. We have to live in peace and harmony and oneness, just like God's realm, where it's peace, justice, everything is fine. All are equal in uh, belongings and rights and responsibilities. So no one will feel injustice. No one will. We are all kings, and we are all the people. Just one. So I just don't understand why people are still going to labels and attach themselves to labels, whether it's religious labels or national labels, country label or whatever. Just, I mean, why you want to feel yourself special or more special than your brother or your neighbor or whatever? We are all equal. What's wrong if you are happy and everybody in the world is happy too? Would that take anything from your happiness? Just why the greed? Why the selfishness? Why the, you know, the arrogance? It's simple, very simple. All what we need to do is to remove all the visions, all that divide us, all that we push us to feel superior on one another. So I just hope all people and governments and the wealthy wake up before too late, and before we lose more lives, and before we have more suffering. And everybody is suffering because of human greed, not only the humans but also the animals and nature and everything. So God is not wanting this. We are bringing it on ourselves because of our behavior, of our lifestyle, which has nothing to do with divinity. Divine is to be wise, to be responsible, to be trustworthy in your daily life. It's simple, and of course, that you have to be loving, not arrogant. You have to be respectful towards everything that exists around you. So that's it from me today. Bye for now.